If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you found something strange on the thumbnail. Something very different, that defies conventions. And you are right. The project you are seeing is based on this Yamaha. And if you think this front suspension is impressive, imagine what most people thought almost 30 years ago. And here comes the key question. Is this a good motorcycle for a cafe racer project? Absolutely not. Unless you are as bold as the builder of this astonishing machine. Welcome to Racertv. Before you make any conclusions about this project, be aware that after you know the work required to get to this point, you will definitely change your opinion about it. Although being very different from what we are used to see, I can assure you, this is a very impressive build. And it will be even more impressive after knowing this is not exactly the work of a professional builder. It was built in Finland by Aki Suokas. He started to ride motorcycles when he was only 10 years old. But his father also took him to the technical side, which helped him modify all his motorcycles, since he took up stunt riding at 16. Only recently, he developed an interest for cafe racers, which means this awesome Yamaha is his first one. When he found this 1997 Yamaha GTS 1000, he knew it was a great base to build something wild. And this is the point where this project deserves our attention. It's rare to find a cafe racer project based on the Yamaha GTS. But there are a few. The usual problem is that most builders choose a very wild approach that is visually too elaborated and sometimes awkward. And I admire this project precisely for being different from most. I think Aki was very clever, trying to reach a more traditional approach, using the usual items like a mini fairing, fuel tank, seat, and rear cowl. But when it comes to the wheels and rear suspension, he tried something far more daring. In other words, he achieved a perfect blend between the traditional and the bold. And this is something I don't remember seeing on any other project with a Yamaha GTS. So, is this an easy project? Obviously not. In fact, anyone can easily see it just by looking at its structure. And comparing the before with the after, we can also find that the differences are huge. It looks like it lost a ton, especially on these two sections. The mini fairing and tail are generic aftermarket parts, with some simple modifications to fit the project. The most interesting is this fuel tank. It looks like something that came straight from factory, doesn't it? Curiously, the right answer is yes and no. Just like on the original GTS, what you see here is only a cover, which is hiding the true fuel tank underneath, and which was obviously reduced to half of its size. And here comes the interesting part of this cover. He cut the bottom section of this old fuel tank and made all the adjustments to settle it on the top of the frame. The final result is absolutely brilliant. Aki was also very wise, keeping these lower side covers, which are essential to maintain everything as clean as possible. The mono swing arm came from a Honda VFR 800. This is also a very clever option. Notice how the wheels look on the right side. Almost like they were floating on the air, and without anything attached to them. This VFR mono swing arm is also a bit shorter than the original one. It not only helps to make the bike smaller, but it also makes it more agile on corners, and allows the mounting of this very wide tire. I have to recognize that using a mono swing arm on the Yamaha GTS is not something new. What's really new is the choice of these beautiful wheels. Aki was very bold to choose two car wheels for this project. Fitting a 17-inch car wheel to the rear might not be that difficult. The real challenge is to make it fit on the front section. As you may have noticed, the front wheel needs to be thinner to fit on the front suspension structure. And this is precisely why Aki chose these special wheels. They are usually known as three-piece wheels. They have two independent rims bolted on the center section. This means that Aki had to find a proper rim and adapt it on the wheel. And here's how he did it. Aki bought an old wheel that came from a Yamaha FZR 1000 and cut the center. Then he made an alloy ring and welded it to the FZR rim. All this may sound like a crazy solution, but it worked beautifully. In what concerns to the front suspension, he wanted to get it as low as possible. And again, Aki had to find a clever solution, which allowed this complicated suspension to work properly. After creating a completely new tubular structure for the steering new lower position, he had to find another solution to connect the steering axle to the front wheel. And so he solved the problem using several linkage rods and ball joints. And all this work just to get this much more aggressive posture. But it really was worth the effort, because I bet this outrageous machine stands out from any other bike nearby. I can't help but express my admiration for the brilliant work done by Aki. Even though he is not a professional, this project proved that he has the talent, intelligence, and technical skills to be an exceptional custom builder. And how does this very bold CafeRacer behaves on the road? Well, I think the tire smoke in these magnificent photos speaks for itself. thank you for watching Racertv. And as always, I hope to see you on the next video.